Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to some more Payday 2 content. After the Hardcore Henry build, I thought we'd do some more Payday 2 talk, actually. Payday 2 talk is where I used to basically talk about topics about Payday 2. Today, we're going to actually talk about the build, or not the build, sorry, the new skill trees that are maybe coming out if the actual players want them. For me, I don't want them, but there's actually a few skills in here that I think are actually pretty cool. I will admit that the setup that they've done with the skills and everything looks kind of cool, but I don't know. I have to wait and see how it all works out, to be honest. But anyways, we're gonna go into the Mastermind. Now, I actually found one of these on my own, which is the Technician build. The Mastermind was given to me in the other build, or not build, sorry, the skill trees video that a lot of people hated because of my argument saying that, this makes me mad because, I make builds. And I don't know, I've never really liked this idea. But, I mean, it looks alright now, but I still just don't want it. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that, but some guy posted a comment showing the Mastermind skill tree, or SubTrees, whatever you want to call them. I actually found the Technician build on my own today, or the, not build, the subtree and everything. And then the Ghost tree was from the Master Stealthers group that I found that they were explaining. And some of them actually, like, there are defaults now. Like, there are defaults to the players. Like, Fast Hands is now a default, which is like, what? What? Which I thought was actually pretty cool. So, you know what? This might not turn out as bad as I thought, but I'm still not, like, fully sure. Anyways, we're going to be looking at this. So, we're going to go into Medic first. This is pretty much every single Medic skill, like health skill in the game. So, let's go into it. Combat Medic. After you revived a crew member, you receive a 25% damage bonus for 10 seconds. Reviving a crew member gives them 100% or 30% more health. Now, if my little stupid crosshair or mouse cursor go away, you can actually see that these are the new skills. They have little like snowflake kind of things around them. This is the basic skill and this is the ace skill. So we're just going to be taking a look at these. Quick Fix decreases your first aid kit and doctor bag deployable time by 50%. Crew members that use first aid kits or doctor bags take 20% less damage for 10 seconds. Painkillers members you receive, or crew members you receive take 30% less damage for 5 seconds. The damage reduction is increased an additional 20 seconds. Uppers. Adds 7 more first aid kits to your inventory. And the ace adds 3 more kits, aid kits to your inventory. You deployed first aid kits will be automatically used if a player would go down within a 15-meter radius of a first aid kit. Only 17% of the effect is triggered, which is an interesting thing because I don't think that's ever actually been implemented, which probably is why there's a little snowflake there. But I don't know, it looks cool. Combat Doctor, everybody knows what this one is, but if you don't, you can now place 2 doctor bags instead of just 1. Your doctor bags have 2 more charges, which is like, 4 more, like health things. Inspire, you revive a crew member for 50% faster. Shouting at your teammates will increase their movement speed by 20% for 30 seconds. There is a 75% chance that you can revive crew members at a distance by shouting at them. Now we go into this actual skill tree. Cable Guy is now a basic skill, which is interesting. You can cable... Actually, it was always a basic skill. I'm stupid. Hey, Cap. You can cable tie hostages 25% faster, increases your supply of cable ties by 4. Endurance increases your stamina by 150% and your crew stamina by 50%. Civilians are intimidated by the noise you make and remain intimidated 15% longer, which actually is a combined skill of 2 other skills. And then the ace is probably the best. Kilmer. They got rid of Kilmer, but they also put it in with Endurance. You can reload your weapon while sprinting, which is any weapon now, which I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that's... was it only for those types of guns? I don't remember. But anyways, then we go into Joker. You can convert a non-special enemy to fight on your side. This cannot be done during stealth, and the enemy must have surrendered in order for you to convert it. You can only convert one enemy at a time. The converted enemy gains 55% more health and deals 45% more damage. The time to convert an enemy is reduced by 65%. The power and range of your intimidation is increased by 50%. Now we go into Stockholm, which... Stockholm Syndrome has gotten a lot better, in my opinion. Nearby, untied civilians will revive you when you call on them. Your hostages will not flee when they have been re-secured by law enforcement. So, yeah. Basically, if those hostages are untied, they won't flee. And if you call them... which is a more interesting... Sorry, my, throat just, cut off there. Anyway, more interesting fact than the, point of the skill with the original Stockholm Syndrome was just, if a nearby, civilian or something is nearby you, they might have a chance of actually reviving you. You can actually call them over to you now, which makes the skill actually better, to be honest. It's a more useful skill than the actual Stockholm Syndrome, but I'm not entirely sure if people will actually use it. Civilians reviving you have a X% chance of giving you ammo. Whenever you get into custody, your hostages will trade themselves for your safe return. This effect can only occur during assaults. That is brilliant. That makes Stockholm Syndrome a better skill than the one that we have currently. Partner in crime. Having a converted enemy increases your movement speed by 100%. Or 10%, sorry. Your converted enemy takes an additional 40% less damage. But here's where it gets interesting. Your doctor bags have 2 more charges. So, let me get this straight. And it's only a theory. But, if I have Combat Doctor aced, and then I have Partner in Crime aced, does that give me 4 more charges with the other 2, so that makes 6 charges? Just an idea. I don't actually want it because that'd be crap and breaks the game. But, anyways, hostage taker, having at least 1 hostage or convert a law enforcer makes you regenerate 1.5% health every 5 seconds. Having at least 1 hostage or a converted law enforcement makes your regeneration, or would it regenerate 4.5% health every 5 seconds. I've always seen hostage taker as a useless skill, so don't even bother with that. Going with Inspire. Next, we go into Sharpshooter. Stable shot. You gain 8 weapon stability. You gain 8 weapon accuracy while standing still. Rifleman. Your snap to zoom is 100% faster with all weapons. Your weapon zoom level is increased by 75% with all weapons. Marksman, which is technically kind of like a new skill. You gain 8% or 8 weapon accuracy with all SMGs, assault rifles, and snipers fired in a single shot. You gain a 20% accuracy bonus while aiming down sights with all SMG, assault rifles, and snipers fired in a single shot. So, yeah, that's a thing. Spotter has a new actual kind of thing too, which before Spotter would give you the ability to have like a spotter on your team to spot guards in stealth, which not a whole lot of people use these days because, well, it doesn't work so well. Anyways, enemies you mark take 15% more damage. Enemies you mark take an additional X% damage within one further than Y meters. So I'm guessing they're still working on that skill, maybe. Next, aggressive reload. Killing an enemy by a headshot with the last bullet in your magazine will reduce your reload time by 30% for 2 seconds. Can only be triggered by an SMG, assault rifle, and snipers fired in a single shot. Any killing headshot will reduce your reload time by 50% for 2 seconds. Only can be triggered by the said weapons before. So that's an interesting one. Before, like, if it's your last bullet, the modding community, if it's used by your last bullet, it reduces the reload time. But then with any headshot, doesn't matter if it's the last bullet, it's a faster reload, which is kind of interesting. For like maybe I'm guessing for a sniper type build or something, or for SMGs because you run out of ammo so quick. Next is a skill that I really don't understand. Ammo efficiency. Hitting 6 headshots in a row will refund 1 bullet to your used weapon. Can only be triggered by an SMG, assault rifle, and snipers fired in a single shot. Hitting 3 headshots in a row will refund 1 bullet for your used gun. And that was a chair that fell over, so don't even worry about that. So ammo efficiency just feels kind of useless to me, because hitting 6 headshots, you would need, like... I guess that's in a row, because I thought it meant, like, as in a row, like a row of cops, like you use 1 bullet to, like, hit all the headshots, but it could just be, like, stacked, maybe. I'm thinking it goes with stacked, so maybe it's not a useless skill as I thought. Next, we go over to Technician. Technician. Engineer. Defense up. This is basically all the sentry skills, which is, I find, useless. Defense up. Your sentry guns cost 75% less ammo to deploy. Your sentry guns gain a protective shield. Sentry targeting package. Your sentry gains a 100% increase in accuracy. Your sentry guns rotation speed is increased by 150%. Your sentry guns also have a 50% more ammunition. Echo Sentry. Your sentry guns cost 25 less ammunition to deploy. Your sentry guns gain 150% increased health. Engineering, which is a new skill. You can now select a less noisy version of the sentry guns, making them much less likely to be targeted by enemies. You can now toggle AP rounds on your sentry guns, lowering the rate of fire and ammunition count, but increasing the damage and allowing it to pierce through enemies and shields. So now sentries that are shooting at a shield won't be useless anymore. Because when they shoot at shields, they waste ammo, so much ammo. And now here's Jack of all trades, which is, I think, one of the most interesting skills in this entire tree. You ready for this? Your deploy and interact with all deployables 50% faster, which is like, it's normal. And then you go into this one, it's like, you can now equip a second deployable to bring with you. The second deployable has 15% less uses. When I look at this, I thought, what? So, for instance, if you're going for, and we haven't seen the skills yet for Enforcer, but if you're going for a Tech Forcer build, can you imagine that? Like, if you brought, said, I don't know, sentries and ammo, but if you brought C4 and ammo, that could be so much better doing armored transport heists, which, I don't know. We only find out in time. Tower defense. You can now carry 2 extra sentry guns. You can now carry an additional 2 extra sentry guns. You can carry like 6 sentry guns. Hold on, like 1, 2, so 3, and then the other one. So that would be 5 sentry guns? Really? 5 sentry? Do you need 5 sentry guns, though? Overkill? Do we really need 5 sentry guns? Like, what are we going to use those for? We're gonna use those for overdrill. Just place them down. Anyways, we'll go on to the next one, Breacher, which is mainly the drills and pretty sure the C4 shape charges and everything. So, hardware expert. You fix drills and saws 25% faster. Drills are silent. Civilians and guards have to see the drills in order to get alerted. Gives the ability to toggle sensor mode on your trip mines. So, that gets rid of the whole silent drilling skills now. So, you don't have to, get those skills now, which is, I'm pretty sure, the best thing that has happened to the technician tree. Because that makes drills and saws silenter. So when you're doing a heist, you don't hear the noise anymore. You just don't hear it. Which is going to be sad because then it breaks the illusion. But, whatever. Gives your drills and saws a 10% chance to automatically restart after breaking, which is like, eh. Combat engineer. The radius of a trip mine explosion is increased by 30%. Your trip mines deals 15% more damage. And here's drill sergeant, which is like your drill and saw effective efficiency is increased by 15%, and then further increases your drill and saw efficiency by 15%. But don't worry. This one is going to make everybody so happy because everybody hates drills. And I think they fixed it in a way, which is funny. More firepower. You gain 1 more shape charge and 4 more trip mines. You gain 2 more shape charges and more trip mines. I just like how they're just like more trip mines. You know what? You gain more trip mines, guys. We're not even going to give you the specific number of trip mines. You just get more trip mines. Kickstarter. Isn't that thing where you can kickstart things? Yeah. Your drills and saws gain an additional 20% chance to automatically restart after breaking. Now, you're probably saying, well, isn't that the basic thing with that? Well, that's a 30% chance now, if I'm thinking it right. Which makes it kind of awesome in a way, but still like, it's just a chance. Wait until you hear this. You gain the ability to restart a drill by hitting it with a melee attack. You get 1 chance for each time it breaks with a 50%, I think that says 50% success rate, yeah. So now, when you hit a drill, which almost everybody does, every time a drill breaks or it's like it's restarted, everybody hits the drill. So now, if you have this skill, and you just melee the drill, and it's like, oh well, I'll just restart, whatever. I'll just restart. So now you have a kind of system to restart the drills manually without, forcibly restarting them. Next we go to fire trap. The duration of the trip mine's fire effect is increased by X, and the radius of the fire effect is increased by Y. Your trip mines are now spread fire around the area of the detonation for X seconds in a Y radius. Opposer, I'm pretty sure. Steady grip. You gain 8 weapon accuracy. You gain a decreased stability penalty when shooting while moving. Heavy impact. Your shots have a 75% chance to knock down enemies. Your shots now have a 50% chance to knock down enemies. Fire control. You gain 8 weapon stability. You gain 12 weapon accuracy while firing from the hip. Shock and awe. You can now hip fire with your weapons while sprinting. Killing X enemies with SMG, LMG, and rifles fired in automatic modes will reduce your next reload time by 60%. This bonus is reduced by 1% for each bullet above 20 in a total magazine size, down to the minimal of 20% reload time reduction. They finally gave skills to the gosh darn LMGs. The light machine guns finally have skills. But can we get more damage skills, to be honest? Can we get more damage skills with the LMGs? I'm just saying overkill. You know, I mean, reload speed is cool and all, but I'm just saying. Fast fire. Your SMG, LMG, and rifles fired in automatic mode gain 15% more bullets in the magazine. This does not affect the shock and awe ace skill. You gain the ability to pierce body armor. Yay. Body expertise. 50% of the enemy's headshot multipliers is applied to the enemy's body with SMG, LMG, and rifles fired in the automatic mode. 50% of enemies' headshots multiplier is applied to the enemy's body with an SMG, LMG, and rifles fired in an automatic mode. So Technician is not looking so useless now, is it? When I saw this, I was like, you know what, overkill, you know what? These new skill trees, they're not looking too bad. Mainly because Technician isn't so useless anymore. Next, we're going to go over to Ghost. Ghost. Covert Ops, which Ghost is probably the most weird setup one I've seen, really. To be honest with you now. Defense Up. Wait a minute, wasn't that the same name of the Technician? But you have different skill. What? Anyways, you gain the ability to automatically mark enemies within a 10 meter radius around you while standing still for 3.5 seconds while in stealth. You can pick up items while in casing mode. You gain 30% more value to loose items and cash that you pick up. So now they use like 6 cents and they put, like dead presidents in one skill. So now everybody who's wanted to use dead presidents, I've always used them in some of my stealth builds. We can finally use it while in casing mode. Yay. Anyways, Cleaner. You gain access to all insider assets. Cleaner costs after killing a civilian is reduced by 25%. You gain 1 additional body bag in your inventory. You gain the ability to carry 1 more body bag in addition to gained body bag. Yeah. Chameleon. You gain a 25% increased concealment while in casing mode. You can also mark enemies while in casing mode. You gain the ability to loop 1 camera for 20 seconds, temporarily disabling it from detecting you and your crew. So Chameleon, right? We don't have to get camera loop ace now. Because it's right there. It says it right there. Okay, anyways. Actually, I didn't know I can zoom in. So we can just zoom in on the skills. So it's a better look for you. Probably a better look for me because then actually look at the stupid stats. Anyways, Undertaker. You gain the ability to place 2 body bag cases. Your lockpick you lockpick 15% faster. You also gain the ability to lockpick safe. So yay, we now have that. I mean that was always a thing, but I'm just saying. ECM Overdrive. Your ECM jammer and feedback duration is increased by 25%. And they say this is a new skill, but I'm pretty sure this has already been in the game for a while now. Your ECM jammer can now also be used to open certain electronic doors. Overkill. That's not. How is that new? We can also use ECMs before to like open doors, right? Like pretty much any door that has like, a key card panel on it. Oh wait, could you use them for other or I don't know, Overkill. You know what? You tell me, Overkill. You tell me. Anyways, let's go into ECM Specialist. You can now place 2 ECM jammers instead of 1. So now the ECM skill is the highest than Overdrive. Well, isn't that funny? Because 2, used to be the bottom of Overdrive. Okay. The ECM jammer duration is increased by 25%, and the ECM feedback, okay, nobody cares about you, ECM feedback. Nobody cares about you. Alright, then we go into Commando. Duck and Cover. Your stamina starts regaining 25%, I don't know what that says. Eli, I don't know. And 25% faster. You also sprint 25% faster. So that's nice. You have a 25% chance or 25 increased chance to dodge while sprinting. You gain 15% chance to dodge when crouching or ziplining. Not chance. I'm sorry. I'm bad at words. Invasion. You gain 10% additional movement speed and 20% in climbing speed, which I finally have those two skills together. My dream skills. And now we look at, sorry, gosh darn it, just go there. Just go there, okay? Next, which is a more interesting skill, which is it not here? Oh yeah, it is here. You gain the ability to sprint in any direction. Your fall damage is also reduced by 25%, and you only take armor damage from falling from non-fatal heights. You can gain the ability to sprint in any direction. This used to be a very high skill in the Ghost Tree that nobody ever used because it made no sense to have it. It literally made no sense to have this skill. Next, we're going to go into Thick Skin, or at least for me. I have no idea why it was a skill, but yeah, whatever. Thick Skin increases your melee weapons concealment by 2. Increases all your ballistic vest concealment by 4. Why are you increasing all ballistic? Are you gonna go for a dodge build? Most dodgers just use a suit. Why is that a thing? Overkill, why is that a thing? When we use Thick Skin, we go for more armor, which is probably in the they're probably gonna have more armor skills, LMGs, and shotgun skills than the Enforcer, so yeah, whatever. Sneaky. You gain 1% dodge chance for every 3 points of concealment under 35 up to a maximum of 10%. You gain 1% dodge every chance for 1 point of concealment under 35 up to... Wait, isn't that just the same thing? That's literally the same thing. Overkill. That's literally the same thing. Shockproof. The taser's shock attack has 30% chance to backfire when targeted at you, causing the taser to be knocked back. Oh god, so does this mean that when I get tased now and the taser actually lets me go, that's never gonna happen now? Gosh darn it. I'm sad now. When you tase, you have the ability to free yourself from the taser by pressing F within 2 seconds of getting tased, which was in the technician tree. And low blow. You gain 30% critical hit chance for every 3 points of concealment under 35 up to a maximum of 30%. You gain a 30% critical hit chance for every 1 point of concealment under 35 up to a maximum of 30%. Next we go into Silent Killer, and no, not the skill. Camouflage. You are 50% less likely to be targeted by enemies when you are close to one of your crew members. You are now 30% less likely to be targeted by enemies when you are close to one of your crew members. Yay. Optical illusion. You gain 1% concealment for each silent weapon you have equipped. Overkill. I'm just going to let you know now. That skill is so broken. Reduces the concealment penalty of silencers by 2. Yeah, that skill is so broken. Oh, I can see it now. We don't even have to use size doesn't matter. We could use some other skill that reduces the damage or something, which is the main reason, but we don't even need damage. Oh my god. We're going to have 1 concealment now, everybody. We're going to have 0 concealment. We can't even we're going to have negative 100 concealment if we have every single silenced gun. Oh my god. This is going to break everything. The Professional. You gain a 50% increase to weapon stability and a 100% zoom increase with silenced weapons. You gain a 50% increase to weapons accuracy with all silenced weapons. The Professional, yeah. Dire Need. When your armor is depleted, the first shot on any enemies will cause those enemies to stagger. This effect ends when your armor regenerates. This effect persists for 6 seconds after your armor has been regenerated. Subtonic Rounds. You deal 15% more damage with all silenced weapons. You deal an additional 50% more damage with all silent weapons. Unseen Strike. If you do not use any armor or health for 2 seconds, you gain a 35 critical hit chance for 4 seconds. The critical hit chance duration is increased by 12 seconds. There you go, folks. I have spent 30 minutes talking about all the skills that are in these. So, it's up to you how you feel about these. To me, right, half of these skills, I don't understand why they're in these certain trees. Except for the medic one, which makes sense. But I'm just saying, I like the older setup of how they had their own individual things. But Technician skill tree looks better. It looks so much better than what we have now. Or before, if this actually does come out. But anyways, let's skip on. Mastermind, could be better. And Ghost could be better, and I think it's alright. Technician and Ghost are getting me up there. But Mastermind, on the other hand, just looks But, yeah. This is up for you guys to decide how you feel about this. I think these are pretty cool. I'm not entirely sure what other ones they've released, if they have released anything. I actually found the Technician, like, skill tree just, like, removing the 5 and putting in, like, a 4. I was, like, just trying to find if there was any other pictures. But, who knows? Who knows? But, yep, that's all the skill SubTrees things for you guys to look over and check out for yourselves, which I'll even do but I can't do it for this one because it's a different format. Yeah. Yep. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Just look at it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go edit the Hardcore Henry build, and then I'm probably going to do a Captain Diamond Talks later tonight, and then I'm probably going to play Metal Gear, because Metal Gear is awesome. Though it's so hard. It's just so difficult to just... Anyways, so, hope you guys enjoyed. Please check out some videos on the channel, and as always, see you in the next video. Stay safe, and have fun. Technician looks so much